Hello, this is Alan Brockstein from 420 Investor. I want to take just a few minutes to share an example of what I do day in and day out with my subscribers at 420 Investor, which is to focus on the positives and the negatives on the key stocks in the sector. Terra Tech is one of the companies that I discuss very frequently, and it's actually one of my favorite companies and part of my longer term focus 420 opportunity model portfolio, which is benchmarked against the Benzinga 420 marijuana index. Uh, I do 10 videos a week. 9 of them are during trading hours or in advance of trading hours, and they run about 15 to 20 minutes. And I try to discuss the most interesting movers at the time, or also anything that undergoes some sort of fundamental news. On the weekend, I run a full review of the 29 names on my focus list. And by the way, the focus list isn't just companies I like. It's really what I believe are the key players out of the 250 that are in the sector. And I go over each and every one of these stocks, sharing both my short-term and longer-term technical outlook, as well as any key fundamental issues that have been going on. Just one of the many things that we do at 420 Investor to stay on top of the market. So Terra Tech has been a 420 Investor favorite for quite some time. In fact, I'm in the middle of a survey of our community now to find out what the new favorite is. But a year ago, as we began the year, Terra Tech was by far the stock that was voted the most likely to succeed in 2014. It ended the year at 14 cents. It's at 26 right now, so not a bad year. Although for a lot of people, it has not been fun because either they bought it on the late in that rally or held on to it and never sold it. But obviously, the stock traded close to $1.40 back in March, which seems like a long time ago. What I'd like to do is walk you through my outlook right now. And I want to say if I could give an award to the company that delivered in 2014, I think it would go to Terra Tech. As everybody who follows the sector knows, there's not a lot of good execution in the sector. There are not a lot of revenues, certainly not too many profits, and Terra Tech would fall into that camp as well, obviously. But they have delivered because they laid out a case at the beginning of the year of how they would approach a big decision about going crossing the proverbial green line. One of the big challenges for all these cannabis companies is they're not really cannabis companies. Of course, we can look at the Canadian licensed producers. They are federally legal up there. They touch the plant. But in the United States, while there's a few companies I've identified that claim to touch the plant or may touch the plant, there aren't any actively traded ones like Terra Tech, and they have done this in two different ways. Number one, they announced the creation of their IVXX, or 420 in Roman numerals, product, a THC concentrate that they'll be marketing in with creating with their extraction lab, and then selling through Bloom Dispensary and others in California. That's one. And two, what's really exciting is they won up to 8 provisional licenses from the state of Nevada. 6 of them are a done deal. 2 of them, there's a little bit of a dispute between the state and local government, so we'll see how that plays out. But they are on the road to being a powerhouse in Nevada initially, potentially in California if they're able to fold in Bloom, and obviously they're working on the CBD program in Florida, and will probably make an application for the highly restrictive medical marijuana program in New York, where they're awarding 5 different licenses, each with 4 dispensaries attached, and obviously cultivation and production. So as much as I like Terra Tech, I always make sure everybody knows what's going on both sides of the story. And I recently reduced the exposure in my longer term focused model, and that was because I'm concerned about a near term dynamic, which I'll talk about in a second. I don't have the stock in my short term portfolio right now. So the dynamic that's come up is that the company needs to raise capital to build out Nevada. This is a good problem to have, I believe, because it's capital that's going to be smartly deployed. And they just filed on Wednesday afternoon, December 24th, Christmas Eve, an S1 filing for up to, I believe it was 57 million shares to raise up to 17 million, $15 million. And the of that 15 million, a small amount go to their grow op and to their edible garden subsidiaries. The bulk of it, 11 million, goes to the Meta Farm or Nevada partnerships, and then the balance is for general corporate purposes. So they have negotiated a most excellent arrangement where they will be able to do an at-the-money offering with this S1 by using Magna, whereby they can sell stock at just a 5% discount to the 3-day VWAP, or volume weighted average price. So this is a very efficient way to get it done. But I think it, to be quite fair, it also creates a little bit of an overhang because everybody knows that the company needs to sell stock. And so my outlook right now is not that the price is going to go down. It's just that some rallies will be sold. An additional detail is that Dominion, the S1 from Dominion went effective recently, and they will be selling some shares. Anytime the stock goes above 30 and change, they're able to sell a lot of shares, and then over time, even at lower prices, they can amortize their existing existing financial instruments. So there could be some pressure on the stock. So I think this gives investors a great long-term opportunity to get in and not have to feel rushed. So we'll see. We went through this last year. I started 420 Investors September of last year, and the first buy recommendation for Terra Tech was, I think, around 8 and change. I don't remember the exact price. And then basically loaded the boat at 7 and change, and was a little frustrated that we spent a lot of time between 6 and 8 cents late in the year. But then obviously we took off, and this is one of the stocks that not only is it up year to date, like I mentioned, but it also managed to exceed its high from 2013 earlier this year. Now, I'm not predicting we're going to get back to this level anytime soon, but I think that Terra Tech could be a great story in 2014, and I look forward to seeing their progress in Nevada and in the other states, and then also in getting this financing done. If you found this of interest, you might enjoy being a member of 420 Investor. I've left some information in the description of this video that will tell you how to get in for 2 weeks for just $4.20, so you can see what it's all about. I hope you have a great 2015.